Oh, happy Saturday, everybody. How is your weekend going? What's really happening? Are y'all out enjoying the city? Are you home watching football, college football? I had a busy day today, but I just want to come and go live really quick. Not going to be long tonight, but I felt a need to come and talk just a little bit, just a little bit. There's been a lot of things going on out here, but I kind of wanted to come and talk to you about some specific things that's kind of like been bothering me. Um, I had been thinking about I'm saying to myself, I feel like as people, I want to say women because I'm coming from a woman's perspective, but I would actually say just a person. You know, a lot of times, right now there are so many like dating websites and there's so many sites where people are trying to connect people and all of that. And I get it because everybody wants some companionship, right? But I personally want to come and talk to you guys about it and just kind of see what you think or thought about it because you know it's been some rumors going on and I'm always into social media and trying to stay up with what's happening, but it just specifically, I like reality TV, right? So I try to cover that. And there's a young lady on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And just the other day, you would not believe, you know, I was looking at her and I was like, man, I am so glad that she has not like partake in any of, well, not much of, the what should I say? The plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery kind of thing. Because when I saw her on the show, I was like, man, she still looks good. She looks natural and that kind of thing, right? A lot of the ladies on the shows on TV these days, whether it's reality TVs, movies, and this is just my opinion, everything I'm saying is alleged. There's nothing that I'm coming from my perspective. And it's just kind of been bothering me because I was like saying, a lot of the women, when you look at them now, they don't look real. And it just kind of it looks like something has been done, whether it's the cheeks, the lips, the butt, the whatever, right? And I was just saying, what is it about us, or should I say them, that a lot of times people don't see themselves as we see them. You know what I mean? A lot of times we can look at each other, and most times, none of us are perfect. They're just, they're things that we all can change or probably want to change or whatever the case may be. But I often wonder myself, like, why is it so difficult for women, particularly? Because men just kind of seem like they roll with the punches most time. They don't really get into the, of course, the things like that we get into. But why is it so difficult for us to see ourselves the way other people see us? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we feel a lot of times there's a need for the drastic cosmetic surgery? Now, I get it as we get older, and mature. There's certain things we may not like, particularly about ourselves. Things don't do what they used to do. We might need a little pick up here, a little pick up there. But when you're a young woman, like in your 20s or 30s, it's like, and being fair, keeping it 100, it's like, I get it. There's always something that we don't like about ourselves. Like way, way, way before people were getting the lip fillers and all of that stuff. My sister, for instance, it's so funny. She always had thin lips, right? And I was young back in the day. I used to be like, man, why your lips thin? I got these full lips and I want thin lips too. And she would be like, well, and now everybody wants full lips. They're getting the fillers, the injectors, and if it's not the fillers and injectors, it's the butt. Now I'm telling you, I be looking at these people, and I'm like, and I'm gonna get back to Spice, but I'm like, Why is it that these people do not realize that their butt is too big for their legs? It's like, can somebody in your camp tell you that when you're a celebrity? Like, you're supposed to have people around you that care about how you look, right? Just because your butt is big, it does not mean anything, because too much of anything is just too much. It's just way too much, right? So I'm like, why is it that people, it's hard for you or me as a person to see yourself as other people see? It's like we look at ourselves when we look in the mirror, we look at ourselves through frosted lenses. It's like people can say, "Oh, you have a nice body, you're pretty," or whatever. And we always look in the mirror and we see something different. I don't know why it just seems like it's just so difficult for us to see ourselves the way other people see us. We always think people, we need to do something different. We need to improve on this or that, especially, of course, as we get older. I get it. There are some things we may want to do to improve. I personally have never had any cosmetic surgery. Never. I can't say that there's nothing I wouldn't want to do, I wouldn't like to do or improve, but I just never have done it. But people who do it and can do it, sometimes they go too far to the left or too far to the right. And I'm like, why is it that, okay, even if you do something, and I can tell you, most times when they get one thing done, they going back to get something else done, right? It's the lazy way of working out, right? And if you got the money, you can afford it, you're going to do it. You're going to try to improve the things that you want to improve. I get it. But it's like, when is too much, and when is too much enough? You understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, your little legs don't need that big booty on it, or your little body frame, you don't need the big boobs. It's like your lips, like, stop. Like, if you have skinny lips and they put fillers in it, your lips are still gonna look skinny. It's like, just because they put fillers in your lip and they protrude, you look like a duck most times. Like, what's her name? Cardi Red on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, who told her to go and get all those fillers in her lips? She looked funny. It's like, but when they look in the mirror, I'm like, do they think it looks nice because it's trendy and it looks good on everybody else, and it should look good on you? Or they go get the butt, and it's not the average size butt. They don't just get a little bit here, a little bit of that, a little lift here, there. They be going drastic. Like, they have little, like me. I have my thighs are. I have nice thighs. I think they're not skinny. They're not like real big, right? So the average, all right. But some people have real little legs and they go get a huge butt, and I'm like, okay, now what's that about? Like, somebody in your camp, whether you're a celebrity or whatever, need to let you know that you around here looking crazy in these streets. They don't do it. And I'm just like, when are we as women or as people, when are we going to take time to be comfortable with ourselves? And let's say, what's the word? Sometimes we need to get comfortable and love the skin that we're in. And that's so hard for most people to do. I get it, because hey, if you got the money and things just don't look like you want them to look, you can go get it done. But this is my problem: when you go too much. Because if like I said earlier, if you got skinny lips, they skinny, they're just gonna be filled with the fillers, and you're gonna be right here looking like a duck. So nobody don't tell you. And sometimes they keep going back. Like, if you look at the old pictures of Cardi Red, she look nice. Now she look right here looking like a duck. Then she got the big butt. I mean, I'm like, come on, y'all. Somebody need to tell her it's too much, too much. You know what I'm saying? When it's too much, it's just too much, too much. You don't need to be doing that, but nobody will tell them. And that's what kind of brought me to doing this show, because, I was looking at Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I love, how I go, love reality TV. That's why I be talking about it. But this is the thing, my girl Spice, and I am praying that this is just a rumor. They said, or it's rumored that she went over to the Dominican Republic, DR, where a lot of people go. Now, I've heard of a lot of people going to the DR to get plastic surgery, right? Because it's cheaper, it's less expensive down there. I was told that her doctor did not want to do it. And she went to another doctor in the DR that did it. Well, I heard she had complications. And this was like several days ago. I heard that this happened, like several days ago. Now, Spice, if anybody knows Spice, Spice is a big personality. And let me see if I can pull up a picture of her. Hold on, just in case. Let me just try. Because sometimes this little share screen thing don't be wanting to work. I don't know. Did I save it? Hold on. I may not have pulled the picture up. I intended to pull her picture up. Darn. I did not pull her picture up. I meant to have her picture up. But anyway, she is a voluptuous woman, okay? And she's pretty. She's pretty. But she said she's had to deal with colorism, which means she's a darker complected African American woman. She's from Jamaica. But she's so pretty to me. She's a natural woman. She has changed her hair color to blue, but the blue looks cute on her. It does look cute, but she's voluptuous. I think she's had like a boob job and she's had some butt work done too. But I don't know what went over to the Dominican Republic to do, but her doctor did not want to do it. But she went over there and had the work done anyway, right? This is my thing. If a doctor has told you that they do not suggest that you get any work done, you don't need to be doing any work. You cannot get so obsessed with the way people see you and your career that you put your health in jeopardy. So she went over to the DR, which let me talk about that. Definitely going to these other countries outside of the states. Yeah, they have things of that are priced differently and better price, right? But better is not always good. Because a doctor does work to your best friend or your girlfriend or your homeboy or homegirl and they look good, it does not mean that you need to run your butt to another doctor in the DR anywhere else and get work done. Because for one, the price, and for two, because the doctor did a good job on your homegirl. Just because he did a good job on your homegirl don't mean that crap gonna end up looking good on you. Okay, people do a lot of things for money, and that doesn't mean that you need to be running to the DR anywhere to do it. Now, I understand if you want it done, then you need to go through the process, save your money, get your coins right, and get it done in the US. Because what happens a lot of times when they go outside of the country and they have these procedures done, and then they have complications and they come back to the States, these doctors don't want to touch them because they are like, if something go wrong, you can sue me. I'm not gonna touch you. So now you got all this work. You got to go back to the DR and get the work taken care of. It was the girl who was dating what's the guy? The guy from Black Ink, Caesar. His girlfriend. She's a ex-girlfriend. She's a real estate agent here in Atlanta. She had some butt shots. Okay. Now her figure, she looked good, honey. She looked real good. But guess what? The silicone started being in her bloodstream. And she had to get it removed because it was making her sick. The same thing happened with K. Michelle, because a lot of times they tell you they're injecting you with certain things that they're not really injecting you with. You don't know what these people putting in your body. So you cannot trust your life to someone else. So when you go outside of the States, you cannot go and endorse a doctor just because he did well by your homegirl. You can't, or your homeboy, or somebody else look good, so you know you gonna come out looking good because everybody don't have the same results. You have got to do your research on these doctors and see. A lot of times when you go outside of the States, you don't know how well they document things. This doctor, allegedly may have been pristine. His record may be cool, but you don't know if things aren't documented properly. You don't know if all the things that went wrong in his surgical procedures were documented. So now you're going to let these people put you under anesthesia, and now, I mean, you have no control. So you cannot go out of the country and have these procedures. If a doctor tells you that they don't recommend that you go and have the procedures, which is what I've heard, the rumor mill has it, is what was said for Spice. And she found a doctor that would do it. You always find somebody do something for money. That's like a lot of those girls back in the day were going to those hotel rooms and they were getting those butt shots to make their butts bigger. And then they found out that she was putting all kind of concrete, all kind of foolishness, the lady in her butt. And I think she's still in jail now. And people were dying, or someone died, or getting major sick. You cannot trust your health to other people. You just cannot do it. So I am really, really praying, because for some reason Spice has not said anything herself. And I am praying because I really love Spice that this is a rumor because I'm telling you, since I've been dealing with this social media stuff, I mean, man, sometimes they be putting stuff out there. You, if you didn't know any better, you would swear it was real, and it is not real. They cook up these conspiracy theories, and they have you around here believing half of the stuff that's on social media, and the crap is not even real. So if you haven't done your research and all that, you got to be careful what you're believing and listening to on social media. You know, it's strictly entertainment, strictly entertainment. So you can't take anything to heart unless you know for sure. But what I will say is Spice is a very candid, upfront, in your face kind of woman. And what I'm afraid of, she has not came forward and said anything yet. So I'm concerned. I pray that Spice is doing well. I hope she's not in a coma. That it's rumored that she's in a coma. I pray in the name of Jesus, because she has children, that she is not in a coma. I hope, if anything, if it is, it's some sort of induced coma, because doctors do that to kind of keep your body from working too much when you have issues going on. And I'm praying, if there is anything going on and going wrong, that she can recover from it and she does, do well, because I love Spice. I mean, as a person on TV, I don't know her personally, but it would be quite sad if something happens and she can't recover, because she was at the like pinnacle of her career. She's been doing so well, and I just pray that she recovers from whatever, if anything, going on. I hope it's just a rumor, but Spice, we are rooting for you and your family, and we pray that if anything is wrong, I am praying diligently that you bounce back from this. But we're gonna all take it as a lesson. If you want a cosmetic procedure, and you, especially if you're in the US, save your money, get your coins right until you can get it. If it's not a if it's not a required surgery, and it's an elective surgery, nothing is more important than your life. Save your coins, get your money right, so you could go to a doctor that's board certified here in the US, that you have some legal options against if they do something that is faulty and impact your body, that impacts the rest of your life. You need to make sure you have those resources available. If you go out the states and then you come back into the states and now you want a doctor here to correct everything that someone did in another country, they're not going to touch you. Trust me. They don't have the time want to touch you when they do something wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So if you go out of the country and somebody got you all botched up and you come back to the states, because most of the times those girls or guys, they have to come back to the US because this is where they live, and they've had the procedures overseas. If something is wrong, you got to find a doctor that's going to touch you back in the DR. That is scary as heck. So, or whatever you get it done. So my thing is, if you want cosmetic procedures, please, please, please make sure you do your research on these doctors. Don't look at the endorsements from your girlfriends, your homeboys, homegirls, and say, "Ooh, she look good, he look good, her lips look good, her boobs look good, her butt look good, so he gonna do a good job on me." That is not always guaranteed, because everybody have different results. So do your homework. Make sure that you know who is putting you under. I mean, we do that when we have to have surgery, but elective surgeries you do not have to have. But please make sure you do your homework. And if a doctor recommends that you don't have any surgery because you just don't need it, or you have some sort of other issues going on, I would take their advice and not doing it. Don't do it. But hey, we are praying for Spice, and we really, really hope that she recovers. I am definitely. Moving right along. And speaking about girl power, you know, I want to kind of talk about Cynthia Bailey. She came out and she finally spoke and made a comment about her relationship with her ex. Well, he's still her husband. I don't think they're divorced yet, but they're separated, right? And she finally said the reason they separated is because she felt that he was not her. They did not have a friendship, and she really want to be married and be with someone that is her best friend, right? And I totally agree with her. But this is the thing. Mike he already had a past, a real past. Like, we all have a past, but he had a real, real, real past. I think he had been divorced a couple times. He had a couple kids. And to be honest with you, he always had a bunch of women around him. And my thing is, those are signs. Those are like signs. And as women, we have to learn how to see the signs for what we really see, not for what we want or what our heart wants or what we would like it to be. We have to see things for how they really are. If you want to be with a dude, a man, and you realize, or a woman, whatever you're into, and you see that there's some things in your spirit that you're not vibing with, trust me, trust your women's intuition, because most times it's not going to lead you the wrong way. Every time I see Mike, he was it was just the air about him. You know what I'm saying? I never felt that he connected with Cynthia. And I hate that she got married to him, a second guy, and the relationship didn't work. Now that happens, that does happen, but I felt like she got married to him a little too soon. You understand what I'm saying? I never felt like he was into her as much as she was into him. And it's unfortunate because she's a pretty woman. But sometimes women can be pretty on the outside and they just don't feel that way on the inside. They feel like they're lacking. Me personally, I love my husband. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to be secure with who you are on the inside, and you have to love you too. Because that kind of flows into every different relationship you have, whether it's with your spouse, your boyfriend, your fiance, your friends, your children. The way you feel about yourself impacts all your relationships at work, with friends, whoever. Nobody want to be with you and deal with you if you're always like a Debbie Downer, or you're not happy or you're sad. You know what I mean? You ever been around people that just kind of bring your vibe down? You know what I mean? You like, you don't want to never do nothing fun. You just like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to be around nobody like that. And see, with me, the vibe I got from Mike is he wanted to be, he wanted to be more up here, and Cynthia be like, he didn't mind her being close to him, but he didn't want her to be ahead. And I feel like that's why they probably kind of broke up, because he seemed like he kind of had an air of arrogance. You know what I mean? Like he had it going on. He's a sports commentator, and everybody knows Cynthia. She's pretty, she looked good, and but I just think there was a little insecurity there. He wanted probably the fun girls, and she probably wasn't fun enough for him. Who knows? But I hate that the relationship did not work. But I think, I'd rather lose 2 years than lose 3 or 4. I'd rather she just cut her losses, and don't rush into anything new too soon. Love how to be in love with you. You know what I'm saying? Love you a little bit. That's what we have a problem with sometimes, is when we gotta love ourselves. Look at yourself and be all you need. You don't have to always have someone there to kind of like compliment who you are. And I think sometimes that's hard for a lot of women. I love the skin that I'm in. And I think that as a woman or a man, whoever, you have to, in order to be good to people, you have to feel good on the inside. And I think the problem with him is that he probably thought he was probably better than Cynthia, and he had it going on. I just never liked that whole vibe and relationship kind of thing there. So I hate that their relationship ended, but it just is what it is. And I hope the next time when she meets someone that she takes her time, she slow it down, and when she is ready to move forward, she move forward. But just kind of love on you a little bit, Cynthia. Just kind of love and deal with you in your heart. And I think that would kind of be the best advice I could personally give someone like her, because all this married and divorced, it ain't worth it. Just be enough. Let who you are for yourself just be enough, and not need a man or anyone to solidify. And if everybody else go in the friendship category, it ain't no you my fiance, I'm your fiance, none of that stuff. We just gonna chill and move forward. So I hate that they broke up, but I never expected that relationship to continue very long. So it is what it really, really is. And moving on. Are y'all familiar with a young lady by the name of Jhonni Blaze? Jhonni Blaze, another Love and Hip Hop girl. She was actually back a few seasons, and she was real temperamental and always seemed like she had something going on. Just always something going on. Very emotional young lady, very pretty young lady. She just never seemed like she had it all together. And she released something stating that she was pregnant, and the young man who she's supposedly pregnant from stated it's not his. And so she was feeling some sort of way about it, and he was out hanging with another girl. The girl had to show a picture of him with her. And the reason I mentioned Jhonni Blaze is because this is another situation of a pretty young lady who is allowing herself to be validated by a man. Even though he was with another woman and she put the pregnancy test out for everyone to see, he still could care less, you know. And here again, now she always had issues of things that happened in her life. She had a very difficult upbringing and a lot of things had happened to her. She's gone through a lot of struggles. And when you bring a child into a situation like that, it's going to be very difficult to be able to function, especially with a man that's right now saying it ain't his, it's not his. When 9 out of 10, if she's pregnant, it probably is his. So it's just, as women, the reason I mention her, because as women, again, we have to learn how to be enough for ourselves. Even if we are married, we love our spouses or who we're with, but we have to learn how to love ourselves and to be enough and learn how to spend time with who you are. Have your days where you may go to the spa. Take that little bit of time out just to take care of yourself and nurture yourself and your inner thoughts. And sometimes we just need to just set some time aside and be away from everyone. I know me, I sometimes feel overwhelmed with everything I have to do. So you have to take some time to love on yourself and feel good about yourself. And I feel like a lot of young ladies these days, they don't know how to do that. Back in the day, men, they had the things that they were doing, but men treated women special. A lot of times these days, when I talk to a lot of young women, they're like, man, it is so hard to find a good guy. It is so difficult to find someone. They want to know what you doing. You know what I'm saying? What you do for a living, what you bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying? They not half the time they not working. And I'm just being in general. I'm not talking about all of them, I'm just saying generally. And they were like, dating is so hard now. And I think a lot of times it's because as women, we want someone that's gonna be ours. Men are like, you're my miss right now. And we looking for that man to do the things that and fulfill us all the way. And the men, a lot of times, they just kind of looking for what's happening right now. And a lot of times we are just moving too fast. And my thing is, a lot of times you have to slow back, pull back, slow up, and you have to learn how to be happy with who you are. And I think more than anything, a man loves security. They want to know how secure you are and how confident you are. But the choices that I always tell my daughter these days, these guys y'all got to pick from, I would not want them, honey. I would not want them. I'm so glad I grew up in the era I went, because child, honey, it's hard for them little young ladies out here these days. So I think, I just kind of wanted to mention those women because a lot of those women are very, very confident women. They are pretty women. When you look at the Halle Berrys, they were always she could never really keep a strong relationship. Sunshine said she needs to breathe. She needs to find her self-worth. I agree. I assume you're talking about Cynthia. She does. She does need to spend time and find her self-worth and love herself and not worry so much about what's going on with a man. I think that's the problem. We're looking for a man to fulfill us, and instead of learning how to fulfill ourselves and loving ourselves and loving on ourselves a little bit more. We're looking for them to do the things for us that really we need to learn how to do for ourselves. And until we can do that, I think it's going to be very difficult for any relationship to function well for us, because no one knows what you want better than you. You understand? So I think that's like a commonality in a lot of women, even with the plastic surgeries and the things like that. We want to be perfect. There's no perfect. You just have to learn how to accept your good and your bad and your imperfections and be happy with it, because all of us have something that we would like to work on. You know what I mean? But everything doesn't need to be worked on. What needs to be worked on is what's inside and how we feel about ourselves. So I just really wanted to come and speak to y'all for a moment because it kind of touched me when I heard about Spice, and it keeps popping up on the internet, and I'm so hoping that she has not had a backfire on this cosmetic surgery. Cosmetic surgery is a necessary thing sometimes when women have scars and different things that they want to improve. But when you're going to just do things just because you don't like this or don't like that, you better at all times, if you're having surgery, find a qualified doctor who can do the job and has not had any issues. Because if you're out of the country and you go get things done, work done, and you come back to the States and want the doctors over here to fix you up, baby, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But anyway, I didn't want to hold you long on this Saturday. I just want to come and say what's up. Let Spice know that we are praying for her and her family, and I am wishing her well. And I wish everyone have an awesome weekend. Next week, I have a great guest that's going to be on the show. I'll come back probably Monday and introduce her. But you guys have a great weekend and enjoy, and I will see you soon. Bye.